research group. And we actually have, just for people's delectation here, we've actually got a list of some of the forthcoming seminars. So if people do want to come along to some of these, please take a note or take a photograph or whatever. So today I'll introduce her in just a second. We have Dr. Sevinc Garner who's going to talk about Turkish film representations. On the 14th of March we've got Matthew Freeman coming to talk about transmedia education. 28th of March you've got this loser who's going to be doing the talk. Don't come to that, it would be terrible. And then finally we've got Joanne Hollows on the 9th of May. So I think that the details of these are also being circulated internally in CCI, so please come along to them. That's that. So I'm going to introduce our speaker. Great pleasure to introduce my speaker for today. That is Sevinc Garner. She received her PhD in Middle Eastern Studies from the University of Manchester in 2012. Her research interests revolve around gender, identity, ethnicity, nationalism, women and war. And women's movements, in particular in the Middle East and in Ottoman Turkish society. And she's published extensively on those issues. And she's also taught courses including modern Turkish literature, contemporary Turkish cinema, literatures of the Middle East, all at the University of Manchester. So that's Sevinc. Her title for today is Gender, Ethnicity and the Denationalisation of Citizenship in Turkey. Shifting representations of Turkish and minority women in post-1990s Turkish cinema. So the format for today is we'll have Sevinc talk for about 45, 50 minutes, something like that. Then we'll have about 15 minutes for questions at the end. Okay. So without further ado, I'll pass over to you, Sevinc.
Right, thank you so much for coming, everybody. And it's quite a long title actually, because this is my initial research. And I was just talking to Dr. Stefan about this, that I have added some new subjects to this project. So the title has changed a little bit, so don't get confused about that, please. Still it's related to gender identity, but it's more the representation of Turkish and minority women, ethnic and religious minority women in Turkish cinema that was produced after the 1990s. And I hope we will have some time to talk about the impact of TV, Turkish drama series, which are becoming very popular all around the world, and the impact of the soap operas on the identity construction of diaspora Turkish women. When I say Turkish women, I don't mean only those who are describing themselves as Turkish, but also the women, you know, they consider themselves as Turkey-rooted women. So we are talking about Kurdish women, Turkish women, Armenian women, Azerbaijani women. So these are all coming from Turkey, and the way they describe themselves, of course, depending on their ethnicity, is different. And not everyone is enjoying this word. So that's why I prefer to use Turkey-rooted women. Hello. Hello. Right, let me just... Yes. So before I start my presentation, I'd like to give two major overarching objectives of my talk. The first one is, as I explained briefly, it is focusing on the changing manifestations of womanhood in Turkish film, and hopefully, if you have time, TV as well, in the post-1990s period. And I will be looking at two very important prominent films. One of them is Bliss, Mutlu Look, and the other one is Bulutları Beklerken, Waiting for Clouds. And these are prominent films that were made after 2000, and important examples of the new movement that we call New Turkish Cinema. And secondly, as an extension of my project, and that's a current project that I started recently, and I'm in the process of interviewing this Turkey-rooted woman based in Portsmouth or in Hampshire area. the object is to look at the impact of the change in depiction of women on the deconstruction of Turkey-rooted women's identities in diaspora. Now here, obviously, I said Britain, because that's my major, very ambitious, but major purpose. But I will be starting, of course, with the women living in Portsmouth area, and then hopefully in the future I can extend it to other cities like Manchester or London. These are the three big cities where we see a huge, big Turkish or Turkey-rooted communities. So I keep changing Turkey-rooted communities living in these big cities. Right, and hopefully we will have time for the question and answer section. Let's go. Okay, so what are the major questions? The first one is, in what ways are women in Turkish cinema and TV depicted before and after the 1990s? And the role of cinematic images of women in sustaining or challenging the perceptions of women's hegemonic gender identities. And again, the last question, I still don't know the answers for this question, so please don't ask me what do you think, I'm still in the process of searching. How do they affect women's sense of belonging to their home country in a translational community? Right, so the first section probably will take more than half an hour. So it was basically